program. So, nothing, I mean, not more adding into that. I will hand over the platform to Principal Roy to add some comments, and then we will go to the professionals to run the FDP program. Thank you. Sir, will you address for a couple of minutes, or we should hand over to the Pencilbitz? No, sir, your voice is not. Okay, team, we can go ahead and we can start this program.
Okay, sir. I would like to
Maybe
welcome
we
today's
can
resource
take
person, also.
maybe we can take this opportunity, last day opportunity, so that Roy sir can be. Please go ahead.
Yeah, okay, sir, sure. Yeah, I would like to welcome today's resource person, also Shushan John, ma'am, assistant professor, research scholar, and she is an innovative engineer with a strong commitment to sustainable practices and a passion for tackling challenges that others deem impossible. And she is idealism to pursue ambitious goal and tireless work ethic ensures that she is always pushed forward to learn new things. And with a solid foundation in software applications and keen interest in circuit design and antenna development, she was just beginning to explore KCAP for PCB design, and she experience includes handling diverse projects such as smart wheelchair, automated grass cutters, and she is working on a new smart mirror for textiles as well as a driver for natural disaster prone areas. I welcome you, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for your kind words. Thank you, Pencilbitz, for giving me the opportunity. And I would like to thank the institution also for organizing this kind of programs. So, can you please confirm whether I am audible?
Yes, ma'am, you are audible.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you so much for confirming. And I'll be switching off the video so that you will have a seamless presentation because this is the institution and we have less internet here. So I'm just switching off. Okay, thank you. Right. I hope the presentation is also visible. So please let me know because. Okay. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
So we are today going to understand or discuss something about research paper methodology in proposal writing and how to publish research paper in Scopus journal. So some things that we need to have an overview is how to start a research. So we have all heard about research. We may be doing research right now. There are some parts of research that we have already done, even without probably understanding that we have researched. So, but if we are focusing on starting a research, there are some points that you need to take care of at the beginning so that you will not struggle at the end. So the first part will be about how to start a research. And once you start a research, you will have to present it to someone. That is called as making a proposal. So we are making a proposal of what we would like to research and what we are going to planning to do. That is about proposing or formulating a proposal. Then after we are doing the research or we have progressed in doing the research, we have to get that published somewhere. Just doing something and saying that we have researched, no one is going to know that you have done that. So for that, what you need to do, you need to publish your work somewhere so that the world will know that you have done this research. And if it is a very good research, other people can also join your research. So it is very important to get it published. So for getting it published, you need to find a journal. You need to structure your paper in such a way that the journal will appeal it, take it, it will get published, and then you can move forward, or you can say that you have done a complete research. So doing a research is not just doing some work and saying that I have done a research. It's actually very broader sense. You have to be very specific in every part of the research, from the choosing of what you're going to do to getting it published. There are so many processes and steps that comes in between. So let's just move forward and understand each part of a research. Now, if you are first starting a research for the first time, the main questions that comes into your mind can be these 5 questions. So first of all, I'm starting the research for the first time. What area should I choose? Should I be choosing something that is most popular right now? Should I choose something which I know? Should I choose something which interests me? So there is actually ways in which you should choose something. You should not randomly choose anything. Whatever area you would like to choose, it would be like very good if you are specific enough. So let me give you an example. If you want to automate a room, or if you want to learn about AI technologies to automate a room, so that is one of an area that you can. AI is a very broad area. And I said about a room, right? So if you look into the room, there are so many parameters that comes inside the room. There is fan, there is light. So what should I control with AI? Just speaking about AI means AI is a huge topic. So that is what you choose first. What area would you like to choose? Would you like to do an AI control something? Or would you like to do something that is naturally occurring? Do you want to learn about or research about climatic change? Or do you want to research about landslide? Do you want to research about the what do you say, the salt level, or what is happening to the salt level in ocean? So all these are broader area. Or do you want to research something for the medical reasons? That's also a very good area. So there are so many areas that are around you. You will be choosing what area you want to do. So that is the first thing that you will do as a researcher, the area which you want to do. Second is, in that area, there are huge number of topics. What topic will you choose? So I talked about climatic change. Inside the climatic change, I can choose lots of things. Due to climatic change, there is going to be like longer summers, shorter winters, or opposite way, longer winters or shorter summers. What should I research? That would be the topic. Once you understand what is the area and what topic you need to choose, then your question comes like, do I have these resources to research? How will I research that like this in this area, the summer is becoming longer? Do I have lots and lots of years to research? Can I take about 5 to 10 years to research and tally or mark each point that in this year it was like this, in this year it was like this? Where will I get all this information? Do I have that resources? And after that, should I do all this by myself? Is there someone who can help me? Is there someone who I can approach? Or should I do it alone? Can I do it as a team? All these are the questions that comes inside the mind of a researcher, or if you are going to do a research. So this is a small example which I have chosen, like the area you would like to choose. I've just chosen climatic change. You can choose anything. And what is the topic? Specific topic inside climatic change. You can go for health risks associated with climatic change. There are various things that has been happening due to climatic change. Some health issues are occurring just because of this climatic change. You can research about that. That will be a smaller portion of the bigger area of climatic change. Now, what resources do I need? I can do a survey. There are so many survey reports available in the internet. I can read some papers. So, whom should I approach? So, in your institution, whatever institution you are in, whatever institution you are going to do the research, if there is some person who's already associated with the climatic change, I'm just giving the climatic change as example so that you'll understand more. If there is somebody who is already associated with climatic change, you don't have to start from the beginning. You don't have to go to the beginning step and climb up again. You can approach that person, get advice. What is the best research which I can do regarding to climatic change? Sir, ma'am, can you help? Get an advice from your professors or senior professors. Now, regarding team or doing it alone, both has its own advantage. If you want to do it as a team, you don't have to do the whole set of work by your own. If you want to do some survey, in some parts you can divide your work, have the survey. Each one of you will have separate part of the work, and you can combine it to make it a very good big research. But what happens there in a team is there can be conflicts between the team members. Like you can come up with some results which are same and you claim to be yours. So that is some kind of conflict that can come inside the team. But teamwork is really good to go for when you're doing the research, because ideas from multiple person will be different compared to you yourself thinking so many things. And if you do it alone, like you have to do every part of the research by yourself. There is nobody going to help you. Only your research professor or guide who is going to help you will be there. So these are the some of the questions that a researcher is going to have when they are going to start the research. Now, what criteria should I be thinking while I'm going to start a research? Three main topics, three main things. It is very important that whatever research you are choosing, you should feel it interesting. Just because it exists or it is the hot topic presently, do not choose that. It does not interest you. Research life is something that is like you put your heart and soul into it. You will need to love your work to have that result. Just because you want to do the research or just because that is the hot topic, if it does not interest you, then after some time you will feel it as a burden. So make sure that the topic is interesting for you, not for the others. Others may say, no, you should take up something related to AI. That is the hot topic right now. But if you are in such a way that I don't even like AI, then you should not choose that. Choose something which interests you, which you feel that I would very much love to find that. A topic which interests you. The second part is you can find lots of topics like climatic change, which I said before. There are lots of topics which has already been researched. Do not choose a topic which is already like saturated. Someone has chosen that for many times. They have found so many things about that. Try not to choose a topic which is saturated. You will find it very difficult to find a novelty. Novelty is something which means that you are finding something on your own. If you don't have novelty, none of the journal is going to accept your work, and they will say, you are doing something that someone already has done. Why are you doing this? So you need to work on something which is new. And I'll be discussing about how to discover something new. It is not like when you're going for a research, you cannot just jump into that is new. I'm going to find that. You cannot find it in that way. So how to find something new, we will be discussing it later. And the third most important point, it should be manageable. Think about the topic that you are choosing. Make sure you are able to do within the time frame. If you want to complete the research within 3 years, make sure you choose a topic which can be completed. Do not be superstition. Be realistic. You'll be able to complete within 3 years. Then make sure it is manageable to complete within 3 years. Now, resources. We were talking about resources. If you are like in, hello? Hello? Is someone speaking to me? Right. Resources. Try to find your resources and make sure you have those resources before like going to the very end. Like you are doing the literature, you are learning so much about the topic, and at the very end, you find that you don't have that resources. For example, like Pencilbitz, I don't know the name of the person, that's why I said that. You know that I was interested in doing antennas. So what happened to me at the very end, beginning, while I was starting my research, I wanted to like do something in the terahertz range. So I started my research, doing it in the terahertz range. Perfect. Everything is new. Nobody has research. There are lots of new topics. But what I wanted to do is I wanted to like fabricate and have something in hand with me, and I want to test it. But after some time, what I recognized is I do not have the testing facility for terahertz around me. So that's like something which we don't want. If you don't have the resources to create it, if you don't have the resources to test it, there is no point in doing that research. If there is like you are adamant that you want to do that research, then you try to confine within the computer simulation. That is also part of research. You don't have to actually have that in your hand. You can do computer simulations and have researches. So try to find if the resources are available for you before starting a research. It is very important. Next, find a professor who can help you. Doing everything alone without the help of anyone is like next to impossible. There should be someone who should be able to guide you. You can do experimental research or you can do computer-based simulation, whatever may be. Just good to have someone who can guide you very much. So when you are like trying to get the resources, try to find summary of the researches that have already been done. Try to interpret the results and try to like find what you can do. You can like even write papers based on the literature, whatever is available at the internet, consolidate it, and you can write a paper. It's not necessary that you should experimentally find something or computer-based simulation. You have to do something. You have to have a result. It's not like that you need to have all those things for publishing in a journal. You can even do that by summarizing all that is available in the literature, but make sure you do some interpretation. For example, the example which we saw before, climatic condition and health risks that are predominant due to this high climatic changes. You need to like try to read many articles related on climatic change and what happens due to the climatic change, what type of people are getting affected due to climatic change. And you will say, like for the age of about 50 to 60, 10% of the people are getting affected by climatic change. Below the age of 10, 20% of the kids are getting affected by climatic change. After reading everything, You're summarizing these researches and you're interpreting, or you're getting a final result saying that from the literature, I can understand that about 10% of people are getting more sick due to the climatic change, or 20% of the kids are getting more sick due to the climatic change. That kind of interpretation is needed. And you can add a concluding remark and have a journal published. That is one of the ways that you can do without even having to research. That is the journal that you can do. Now, where you should go for the resources. If you have something experimental to do, there should be some facility that is available near you. But other than that, you can like search the websites of colleges that conduct this type of research. You can, like, for example, for presently we have taken the example of climatic change. We can just go to the websites of different colleges which has taken the climatic change researches and find. You need to go to the publications page of the professors in that college. There will be list of publications from them, and you can like choose that institution for your research. You can approach those professors for your research. And when you before approaching, try to go through their papers and find what they have done. Try to pick their keywords, what they have done. Try to download the papers. Try to establish the basic fundamentals before approaching. And then you can formulate a problem. And you can take the help of those professors because they are already working in that field. They'll be able to guide you a lot for your research. So the main or the most effective way of formulating a problem, or what you need to find inside the broader spectrum, is that you can like go through or find a professor, try to find or understand what the professor has done, and from there you establish your fundamental, understand what are being researched in that area, and then you formulate a problem on your own. That is one of the way that you can come up with an idea of a topic. Or you can go for the traditional method. Traditional method means you have chosen climatic condition, changing climatic condition. You're going to download lots of papers, 200 to 300 papers you're going to download. You're going to understand what is the recent researches that comes with respect to climatic condition and healthcare. Then you read. Read means not one or two papers. You need to read so many number of papers. And finally, you come up with a problem based on all the literature that you have read. This is the most traditional method. This is what is like earlier we were doing without, like, if you are not going to approach a professor, if you are not going to try to find it on your own, like if there is some problem that is in hand in front of you, then you can go for that. Or you can choose this traditional method where you can like choose on your own. But this makes some effort from your side. You will need to work lots to finally formulate a research problem. But the base that you will get from a traditional method of research is huge. Whatever pinpoint topics that you are asked, someone is going to ask about your research, then you will know all parts. You will know how to explain all parts of your research. Rather than if you are like taking help from someone, they are just going to tell you what are the important points. You will know what are the important points. You will write it down. You will by heart it and you will know it. But if you are going to find it on your own, then that is something different. You are going to like broadly understand and then formulate a problem. That will be like giving you a baseline information, which is huge. So that is the traditional method of formulating a research problem. Now, you have a research problem. You will need to like present it to some people. You will need to formulate a proposal. So research proposal is an article that you will share with the academic for getting approval. Like if you want to go for PhD, if you want to like do more research in your institution, you are going to give a proposal that I'm going to do this research. Even for some funding agencies, you are going to give some proposal saying that I would like to do this research, please fund my research. In that case, you will need to formulate a proposal. So proposal will have a problem that has been identified. The problem should be relevant, and the solution, a relevant solution should be proposed. It's not that you have to completely do the result or solution and then propose. It's something that you are proposing. By doing this, the problem is going to get solved. You have not done this, but you are going to do this and you are going to solve the problem. So research proposal is going to have three things. One is the problem that has been identified. The second is the relevance, that it should mention that the problem is relevant. The proposal, when someone is reading the proposal, they should feel that this is a very relevant problem that should be addressed. And when that person reads the solution, they should think that, wow, this person can solve this problem, which is a very relevant problem in today's society. We need to surely address this problem, and this solution is a very good solution for that problem. Whoever reading the proposal should understand or should feel that. Then only your research proposal will be accepted. Now, structure of the research proposal. What all should you write inside the proposal? It should have a very catchy, relevant title. Then the literature review. Literature review means literature are the back papers, like whatever is already published, whatever some people might have published or research based on this topic is the literature. You will gather information from wherever sources that you can, and you will summarize and say that this is the literature which I have referred. And from this literature, I can understand that this part has not been researched. If you are going for the climatic change again, I have a title of health issues due to climatic change. That's just a vague title. That's not a good title. That we will come to how to formulate a title. The title which I'm proposing right now is health issues due to climatic change. And what should be the literature? The literature should be the papers that are already published, which is having, which is showing some kind of health issues, like medical papers will be there. Their health issues are happening due to this kind of change, due to increase in rainy season. Children are getting more sick. Due to summer season, elder people are finding it difficult to, like, having difficulty in their joints. Some things like that. So you will gather all of these information that you can get from the previously published papers, and you will say that this part has not been researched yet. I would like to research this part. That is one of the main part in the research proposal, the literature gap. You are going to say that this part is not researched. I'm going to research it. Now, next part is the research objectives and research question. To address this research gap or literature gap, I'm going to formulate objectives. I'm going to say that first I'm going to do this. First, I'm going to do a survey. Second, I'm going to do a case study. Third, I'm going to conclude. Or you're going to formulate some kind of objective. First, I'm going to do this. First objective is to do a survey. Second objective is to do a case study. Third objective is to visit hospitals. Like that, I'm going to formulate objectives or research question. For each of the objectives, there is going to be a question. Why am I doing a survey? I'm going to do the survey to understand how many people are getting sick. Case study. I'm going to gather 10 to 15 people and I'm going to do a study about them for the next 6 months. And then I'm going to visit hospitals about 30 kilometers around me. And I'm going to say I have visited 20 hospitals and I have researched that in these hospitals, this kind of people has come. And I'm going to like formulate my research. Research methodology is the process that you're going to, like research objective, I have fixed it. And I'm going to say these are the methods that I'm going to use to solve these objects. I'm going to do this. First was the survey. I'm going to do a survey of 600 people. I'm going to give survey forms to 600 people and I'm going to get information from them. I'm going to consolidate. So this 600 is a method. First, for the objective, I was just saying that I'm going to do a survey. But in methodology, I'm saying I am going to capture this survey from 600 people. And from where will I choose the 600 people? This method needs to be explained or briefed in the research methodology. The next part is the ethical consideration. If your research is going to be involved with some human people, or if it is going to be researched on an animal, you will have to put up some ethical consideration. You will have to have consent. Surveys will not need consent, but if it is directly that you are going to mention a person or you are going to mention something that is specific, you will have to have their consent to publish it. And regarding animals also, you will have to have consent from the animal authorities for the research. Next part in the proposal is timeline. Timeline is best shown as a table or a line graph. It will help the person who is reading the proposal to understand when this project is going to get over. Nobody wants a proposal which is going to get over after 20 years. If you are going to say that I'm going to research and I'm going to give you a result within the next 1 year, that is a very good proposal that you're creating. But make sure it is a doable or a manageable timeline. Do not propose a timeline which is not manageable for you. We are not like supernatural power. We don't have. We are normal people who are doing normal work. So make a timeline which is feasible to you, which is manageable. And it will be great that you can do a budget analysis. I will need these equipments. I will need to travel this much for the research. Just propose that you may need these and create a budget. And finally, at the concluding part, you will need to finally expose or express that this research is very significant. If you do not believe that your research is significant, then nobody is going to believe that your research is significant. So it is very important that you will specify that this research is very significant. And references. From where all information we have collected, all should be put into this references place and it should be cited inside the content of the proposal. And do not always think that literature review is the only part where you need to cite, where whatever statement you make that regarding to previous work that you find, you will need to cite there. So inside the structure of the proposal, and if we are discussing about the title, make sure the title is concise. It should be very attractive and it should be informative. Try not to like put a title just for the sake of putting. I understand that this is a title and so everyone will understand that this is a title. It should not have grammatical mistake. It should be very attractive. Make sure to attract the person who is reading your proposal with the title itself, because that is the first thing that the person is going to read. When you're giving the proposal, what are they going to read? They are not going to read the whole thing. First thing that they are going to read is the title. Impress the person with the title. Second, you can see that it is the literature review. Literature review, as we discussed before, literature review gives a background, the complete background of what has already happened related to this research. And the evaluation from your side. You should compare the background and give an evaluation. From what I have read, I understand that this is the situation right now. And you need to evaluate based on this 5 C's, which is cite, compare, contrast, critique, and correct. Cite what you have found, compare with what you have found, contrast and say that this is what you have found. Be a critic of what you have read and connect that with your proposed product. This is the 5 C that you should follow. After reading the background, do this 5 C inside the literature review. At the very end, you are comparing everything, you are citing everything, you are writing a contrast. Try to write the advantages of what you have found in the literature as well as the disadvantages. Be a very good critic. You say that this is the disadvantage, so it will not help in this research in this way. And try to connect that with what you need to propose. Have a very good flow from the title to your references in the proposal. And finally, expose the issue in the existing work. And there is where you will be introducing your work. These are all the disadvantages that are happening in the literature. So I am proposing this so that these problems are resolved. So research objectives and research questions. So research objectives is formulated from the literatures. Then you are going to propose a hypothesis. Based on these research objectives, I am going to propose a solution which is going to be done with this method that is called as a hypothesis. It should contain theory and the results from the previous publication, not yours. Something that you are going to say that by theory, I can say that this result will be obtained. That is what is meant by hypothesis. You are saying that it is going to happen, but you have not actually done it. You are saying that I'm going to do it. And methodology, like we discussed before, how is includes a theoretical framework, like we are doing that in the previous thing, that is research objective. Then we are going to propose a method for each of these objectives, and we are going to say what is the data I'm going to collect, how is the data going to be collected, how am I going to analyze the data, and very importantly, set up a boundary. You should not say that I'm going to survey the whole world to find that the climatic change is going to affect people. You should set a boundary. I'm going to survey for about 600 people to understand this. We cannot go more than that. Set up a boundary. You are going to do this much. And this conclusion, the conclusion of this proposal will be a result from the 600 people only. That is the boundary that you will need to set. Now, ethical considerations, timeline and budget. So make a reasonable work plan. Very importantly, reasonable. Do not try to say a work plan which is not feasible for you. Try to do a budget estimate, including all expenses. Try to think of all expenses that can come. Materials, equipments, mentorship, traveling experience, and other small miscellaneous expenses should also be considered when you're doing the budget analysis. And references should contain all of the papers that you have listed and even the websites that you have collected information from. Now, after doing the research, we have given a proposal. We are doing the research. We have completed some part of the research. Then the next part we need to think about is that we are going to write a paper. Now we need to write a paper. Then first, what are we going to write? We have researched on something. What should be the title that we are going to write? That is the first thing that we come. But that is the last thing that we will do. Formulating the title. You should not try to formulate the title at the very beginning. The second is even first is the title, then you come for the abstract. When you submit, some of the journals are asking abstract work. No, journals are not asking. Conferences are asking abstract submission. But abstract and title is the last thing that you will write in a paper. So I'll tell you why. First, start with the literature review. That's where you need to start with. Try to find what is the background that is relevant. So, and when you're doing a research, try not to include everything in one paper. It is not necessary that all the information that you have gathered should come inside the paper. It is not necessary. Inside the paper, write what is relevant to the output that you are going to present. You are going to present some output. You are going to present something like some results inside the paper. Write only what is relevant to that output. There are so many information in yourself. You will feel that if I have not written that, then how will they understand? No, you don't have to write everything. You just have to tell the readers that this is my result and I have obtained like this. That's the only thing that you need to say. You don't have to like, I went to 600 people, 100 of them were from this place. If it is relevant, you should try to avoid things that are not relevant. So the first part that you will need to start with is the literature review. You should start with the background. Write what is happening in the background. Critic, like the 5C, try to compare what is happening in the background. Cite everything. Try to criticize what is given in that. And then flow into your work. Conclude the literature review, emphasizing that your research is important. Whatever that was available already in the literature does not emphasize what I need to say now. And I'm going to propose a new thing which is very relevant to the world right now. Try to like put polish in such a way that they will think that you cannot live without this. That is the final proposal that you're going to make, because that is very important to you. It is important to the readers also. It is important. So polish the writing or the final statement, concluding statement in such a way that without this will like, it will come to an end of the world. That is almost that line. This is very important. Believe that your research is very important. Now, from there, you are going to show the obtained results, compare it with existing work, then concluding with a summary and emphasizing on the advantage of work and a line which shows to the future development. Do not end on a note which says that this is the end of this research. Always be open in such a way that other people should research in this area to make it better. Always, why do we read a paper? We read a paper to understand what is the backcomings and what can be researched further inside that paper. No? But if you itself is opening, like you are welcome to do a further progress in this paper. That would be a very good ending. So, like the structure of a proposal, let's understand what is the structure of a research paper. The first part is the title, then abstract. You have introduction, which says what is like the baseline, the motivation. Then you have materials and methods, results and discussion, conclusion and references. Now let's understand each and every part of this. So like I said before, we will not start on abstract or title. We are starting on introduction. The introduction part is where you are going to write your literature and background. Background, which gives an idea to the readers about what is the motivation behind this research, why I was motivated to think about this area of research, why I was motivated to think about this topic inside that area. That should be the background. And small four sentences or so. Then comes the literature survey. Like we said before, we discussed before, literature survey includes all of the information that you have gathered while you are doing the survey, and make sure the literature survey is relevant to your results. You have read about climatic change. You have read about the rise of water level in climatic change. You have read about reduction of mountain height due to climatic change. You have read about so many things related to climatic change, but your results focus on health issues or how people are becoming sick. It doesn't belong there. So make sure the literature that you are included is relevant to the results that you are showing. Now, from there, we are going to say actually what you should put in the literature review is due to climatic change. This paper proposes a survey of 100 people who has got sick due to this kind of climatic change. Children who has found to be sick due to this kind of climatic change. During rainy season, children are becoming more sick, or some kind of arthritis is coming due to the rainy season. Some kind. They're just basic things which I said. So these are, you should not say something from your side. Always try to put the literature by citing something. In this paper, it is said. In this paper, it is said like this. Do not say that I think that due to the rainy season, people are getting sick. Try not to write that. Try to always quote something from something that is already published in the literature. Now, from there, we are saying that chronic diseases has not been evaluated based on the climatic change. You have just realized based on fever or joint pain. Only that kind of researches has been done. Chronic diseases has not been researched so far. So I'm going to do about chronic researches, and then you can. The research gap which I propose right now is chronic diseases due to climatic change. So that is one of the things which I'm going to say. Now from there, I'm going to like we said for the research proposal itself, I'm going to formulate objectives. It says that this kind of surveys are going to be done. This kind of people are going to be approached. This kind of hospitals are going to be approached, and set objectives. Now, it is very important to mention the scope of the work also within the introduction. I have surveyed. I have surveyed 600 people for this work. I have visited 40 people for this work. This is not the sentence that you need to include, but yes. Someone raised their hand. Can I go forward? Okay, so that was introduction, which says your background, and then you are introducing your work. From there, you are going to explain about materials and methods that you have used. What are the different materials that you used? What is the procedure that you have followed for doing this research? what is the data that you have used, and from where have you received those data. Journal always look at the relevant data collection centers. You cannot say that I have just found it from somewhere, from internet, from GitHub. I have found. So GitHub may be relevant, but you cannot say that I have just randomly used this data. It should be like in a portal which is accessible to everyone. If you use the relevant data, then the journal will find it relevant. Otherwise, the research data, they will say that it is not relevant. Now, how you have analyzed the data, it is important to understand or say that how you have analyzed the data. Sorry for the spelling mistake there. And what type of equipments that you have. You have materials, you have procedure, you have data use, you have data analyze, and there is some kind of equipments that you may have used for experimental kind of research, not for survey kind of research. And what are the equipments that you have used? Try to mention its specification also. Now, results. Results are the main part the journal will look into once the formatting is good. I will always say once the formatting is good, because the journal is not going to look into your paper unless it is inside an acceptable formatting. So results and discussion, the data should be illustrated. Try to do some illustrations in the form of bar charts or pie charts. Bar charts are not very much encouraged. Line graphs and pie charts are most encouraged by the journals. Bar graph you can put, it is not that you cannot put, but journals don't like bar charts much. They do accept, it's not that they don't accept, but it's not very appealing. Express the result rather than writing too much. Try to express in such a way that it is beautifully formulated. Link the result to the objective. You have formulated so many objectives. Try to make sure every result is linked to the objective. Discuss and explain what is the relevance of each of these objects and the results you have obtained from those objectives. So these are the 4 key points that should be included while you are in results and discussion section. And finally, conclude. So concluding means that you are going to restate the objective. Make sure they don't feel that you have written objectives everywhere. Any part they feel that the same thing is repeated again and again, it will be like a bad mark. Try to restate the objective in a different way apart from the objective section or the introduction section. And then review the few of the key findings. The conclusion cannot be too long. So you are going to say that this was my objective and these were the findings which I have got from this objective. And my key findings related to research is this. And as I have set the scope for this research, these were the limitations of the study. For example, in our climatic change example, the limitation is that I was able to only survey 600 people. If you could survey more than 600 people, then it could be the results may be impacted. Some kind of limitation in that way. Make sure you are not mentioning a limitation which will contradict your work. The limitation should show that it is a limitation, but make sure it does not affect your proposed work or proposed result. You can say that it would be like better if you can do this, but it does not contradict you. Make sure it does not contradict what you have written. Like you are writing yourself, writing everything and saying that this is the disadvantage. Like there is no research that says that there is health issues due to climatic condition, then gone. What have you written? From the title onwards, you are writing that there are some health issues due to climatic changes, and as the limitation, you are going to say that there is no health issue due to climatic change, then it is completely contradicting what you have written. Try not to contradict yourself. Right. And finally, references. List all the sources that you have referred. Try to like I said, mentioned before, try not to write a sentence on your own, assumption on your own, unless it is in the results or uh, discussion area. All the other places, you are going to say that from here, I have taken this information. From this journal, I have taken this information. And it is very important to follow the citation style of the journal. Every journal is having different styles, and you should try to follow them. And the most easiest way to cite or put reference in the journal is using software such as Mentally. So I personally prefer Mentally. You can use other sources as EndNote. So if by any chance you want to know how to put citation through Mentally, just let me know. I will do a demonstration at the end. So Mentally will help you to organize your citations. It is important that whatever you cite first should have number 1. Whatever you cite second inside the full paper should be 2. If you are manually trying to write it, then that is going to be something hectic. For example, you have put 25 citations and you want to put a citation between 5 and 6. You cannot put 26 there. Between 5 and 6 means you need to put 6 only, and then you need to do from 6 you need to convert to 7 you need to convert to 8. You need to edit the whole thing. For this, Mentally is the best part from my experience. Okay. References, and try to follow the citation style. Every journal will have a specific citation style which will be mentioned inside the web page. Now comes the abstract. Not even the title. After references, we are going to write the abstract. So why we are writing the abstract now? We have written introduction, we have written materials and methods, results and discussions, conclusion. Even after conclusion, we are going to write abstract. So why? Because abstract is the overall summary of what you have written. And you can write a summary only if you have the whole text with you. How can you write a summary at the very beginning and say that you are going to do this? No. You write the whole thing and then you summarize. That will only make sense, right? So you cannot write a summary and then elaborate. That is something different. But if you write the whole thing and then you're going to summarize, that will be much more effective. What should the abstract have? Abstract should have a motivation and a background. It should only be 1 or maximum 2 sentences with which you are going to explain the motivation and background. Then it should have research objective and problem statement. Very important. You should mention why I have, what is the problem that you are facing? Why are you going after that problem? And then you should give a brief about the methodology that you have received and the key findings. Not all findings, but the very important key findings that you have received. And finally, conclude the abstract with the significance of the research. Wherever you can write the novelty and significance, you should try to write it, because when a reviewer or an editor is going to read your paper, they are going to see what is the new thing inside the paper. If the paper is not having anything new compared to the literature, they are not going to accept your paper. So wherever you can fit this significance and novelty, you should try to fix it. Abstract, it is very important because that is the first thing that the editor is going to read. So abstract, you will start with the motivation and background with 1 or 2 sentences. Then you will write the research objective, then the method that you have followed for finding this objective, the key findings that you have obtained by following this method, and finally, what is the significance that you have done, and in the broader implication, what is the research significance that you have achieved. And finally, let's formulate the title of the paper. So that is the last thing that we do, formulating the paper. We have a base of the paper, that's true. So like we said before, I was thinking like to write something about climatic change and the chronic diseases that occur due to climatic changes, or the diseases or the health issues that occur due to climatic change. So what should the title have? The title should say that, what is my paper about? It should give you an idea, or the reader an idea about what are you going to find in that paper. Second is, what is the method that you have used? Have you done a survey? Have you done a case study? What have you done? What are the techniques that you have followed? Third, what or who were your subjects of study? Who have you referred as subjects of study? That should also be coming in your title. And what results have you obtained? The results means you are not going to say that I have found 500 people. Not like that, but everything in a nutshell, but in a sentence which is having less than 15 words. 15 words is the most acceptable number of words, but it does differ on different type of journals. Now, so I have given a description about this. What is my paper about? Paper researches about different chronic diseases due to climatic variation. So that is what my paper is about. Paper researches about different chronics. I'm going to write answers for every of these research questions and then formulate a title. Just an example for you. So what is my research paper about? The research paper is about the different chronic diseases that occur due to climatic variation. My second question is, what methods and techniques have I used for this finding the chronic diseases due to climatic variation? So for that, I have performed some surveys and I have done some case studies. Now, what or who were the subjects of my study? That will gather information from statutory organization like WHO and gather information from about 40 hospitals. So I've just given as information as 40 hospitals. And finally, my question is, what were the results? My result was about 10% of patients were found to be affected by climatic variation. So this is just an example which I have produced here. This is not an actual result or an actual research. This is just an example. Now identify and list the keywords and phrases from this. I have answered all these questions. I'm going to identify keywords related to these phrases. So I can see that from my first question is, what is my paper about? In that, I have written that paper researches about different chronic diseases due to climatic variation. In this, what is the keyword? Chronic diseases due to climatic variation is the keyword. Paper researches about different, that is not important words. What is the next question? Next question, what methods and techniques have I used? The method is survey and case study. Perform and those words are not important. So next is, what or who were the subjects of my study? So in this, statutory organization like WHO and 40 hospitals. These are my keywords in this. And what were the results? My results were 10% of the patient. So from here, I'm going to write a long sentence using these keywords which I have found by answering these 5 questions. I have asked 5 questions to myself and I have put up some keywords. I have found some keywords in those answers and I'm going to write one long sentence using these keywords. So this is the long sentence which I have written. The research was carried out as a case study in 40 hospitals, along with the information gathered by statutory organizations such as WHO to understand the effect of climatic changes and results in chronic disease in patients by about 10%. So what have I done till now? I have asked 5 questions to myself. I have answered that questions. Then I have found the keywords in those answers and I formulated a very long sentence. So this is the process that you can use for finding a title. It is the most effective way of finding a title. Now, I've written a very long sentence. It is about not counted the word, but if you count the word, it is more than 30 or 35 probably. So from here, I want to find a title, right? That is my aim. From here, I want to reduce these words. Something which are not necessary or redundant, I will need to reduce. And by reducing this long sentence, what I get is called as a working title. This long sentence can be reduced. And when I reduce it to a shorter word, then it is called as a working title. So inside the working title, from the long sentence, I want to remove the elements that make it a complete sentence. Titles are never a complete sentence. So try to remove elements that make it a complete sentence. Second, keep only what is the most relevant to the study. Do not keep anything inside the title. Keep what is most relevant to the study. Delete redundant words. And finally, restructure and rephrase it to make it leaner and attractive. Very important, your title should be very attractive for the readers. Then only someone is going to read your paper. So here is the long sentence which we have made, and I have highlighted some of the things which are redundant or not required and formulated this working title which is having a word count of 25. So the sentence from here, the research was carried out as a case study in 40 hospitals, along with the information carried by the statutory organizations such as WHO to understand the effect of climatic change, which result in chronic diseases in patients by about 10%. This sentence has now reduced to a sentence which is having 25 word count, which is a case study in 40 hospitals along with WHO, who shows that there is an increase in chronic disease by 10% due to climatic change. So this is my working title. Even this is not acceptable because it is having 25 words. The word count for the title should be less than 15. If you can reduce below that, that is good and well, but it should be surely less than 15. Now, again, we are going to reduce some more things. Delete all the extra words and phrases and put keywords at the beginning and end. Add subtitle if necessary. Subtitles are optional and you add only if the word count permits you. It is not necessary to add a subtitle, but it is good to add a subtitle. But if the word count does not permit you, you can avoid using that. And final title formulation, we just need a case study in 40 hospitals along with WHO who shows that there is a 10%. So these are the highlighted keywords which I would like to use and create a final title as assessing the impact of climatic change on chronic diseases, a case study. So this will be the final title which I can formulate from where? From answering the question. I have answered these 5 questions. I have created a long sentence, then created a working title, then again reduced whatever is necessary, and finally created a title which is concise, which is informative, and which is attractive. Assessing the impact of climatic changes on chronic diseases, a case study. So a case study is a subtitle which you can avoid. You can just read till this chronic diseases and end your title. A case study is only if you need to add, if you are willing to add, or if you wish to add. So this is how you can formulate the title of your paper. Try to answer the 5 questions and then from there work on. Delete whatever is not necessary, and from there you create a long sentence. Then you find keywords and create a long sentence. From those long sentence, you will create a working title. From working title, you will formulate your final title. So this is the process in which you can formulate a very good title for your research paper. And this is one thing that you do very last, even after creating the abstract. So while you're formulating a paper, first you will write the introduction, then you will come for materials and methods, write the results and discussion, conclusion, and after completing this much, you're going to go for the abstract and then formulate your title. And now the whole content of your journal is ready. The whole content is ready. You will have to, next part is for you to find a journal and then you need to submit it. So at this point, after finding your title, you're not going to format your journal. You're just going to have a write-up of all of these sections. You are going to have all of the write-ups, you are going to have all of the results, analysis, figures, tables, everything will be in one complete sentence, one complete word. But you are not going to format it. When will you format it? You will format it after finding which journal you are going to publish it in or you are going to submit it in. So the next part is for you to search for the journal. Now I have written all these things. How will I search for a journal? So there are some journal searching tools that are available, and make sure you confirm it in Scopus or Clarivate, whatever, like if you are going to go for Scopus or SCI, try to confirm it in these journal pages before submitting so that you will avoid predatory journals. Even I have faced with predatory journals. I have submitted thinking that before me knowing all of these things, prepared a journal, submitted it, published it, got it accepted, published, and then it was not getting indexed. And when it was not getting indexed, I had to like inquire a lot and found that that was a predatory journal. It got accepted, published. Because it's really difficult to get it accepted, but it got accepted and published, and finally it is a predatory journal. Then my journal is lost, right? So for that not to happen, it is good to like go and search if that is the actual journal. Now you can do this journal finding in LCWire. You have different journal finding option. You have Springer Nature Journal Finder. You have Wiley Journal Finder, as well as Taylor and Francis also produces some journal finding option. So you have the whole set of documents with you. You have your abstract. You have your uh, whole journal content. What you need to do here is you just need to paste your abstract. Now I have formulated an abstract so that I can show you how to do this. So let me copy paste this. And so I have
Ma'am, you are not audible, ma'am.
Hello?
Yeah, now it's audible, ma'am.
Okay. Was this for too long?
No, ma'am, just now.
Okay, thank you. Right. So here I have, sorry, where did that here. So here, if you are willing to pay and publish, then you can go for open access, which is showed using OA here, and subscription, which is showed using S here. Open access charges are too huge, if you can see, and you will go for that when your research is funded. If you are not, if you are just a individual submitter, then going for open access with this huge price is not feasible for you. And you can see even in this Elsevier journal finder, here itself it is mentioned the open access charges are $2,270. And when you go down, you can see there are Journal of Medicine and Surgery. These are the recommended journals based on my abstract. So here you can see this is open access, but it says free of charge. I can try to submit in here and so on. I can find lots of journals. I just wanted to show you where a subscription is. Here. In this journal, you can see that I have open access option as well as subscription option. Subscription means I'm not going to pay any charges for my paper, but the person who needs to read it should be. As an article submitter or a public means my journal, I'll not be paying, but a subscriber will only be able to read what is given inside the journal. So that is open access and subscription. Now, the next important thing that you need to take care of before submitting or choosing a journal is that some of the things other than this open access is given there. Time to first decision is one of the important things. You should always check what is the time the journal has allotted for the first decision. First decision means the decision from the editor. If the decision from the editor itself is showing about 30 days, then the whole process of journal review is going to take lots of days. So here in this Journal of Medicine, it says that the time to first decision is 1 day and the time to acceptance is 30 days. So this is actually a good journal to submit, but it is not showing acceptance rate, site score. So I'll not prefer to submit it here. And it is open access. So I think all of which is submitted here will get accepted. That's why it is not showing all those things. And if we go further for this journal, impact factor is fine. So impact factor is one of the things that you can refer to, which we will be discussing. Site score, time to first decision here. The decision from the editor, it shows 2 days. That's good. Time to acceptance is 140 days. Acceptance. And it can also be said that time to acceptance, the review days will be less than 140. And most of the journal does show an acceptance rate. Here it is not shown. We will see another side source. So 3.3, 6.3, and 9. And the time to acceptance is 272 days, which is too much. Actually, it is most relevant to the subscription people. It will take more than 272 days. And here you can see in this journal, even the acceptance rate is given. Acceptance rate will give you an idea of how many, like in 100 submitted articles, it will accept only 22. So the acceptance rate is fairly low. So this is Elsevier journal finder. In the same way, you can go for Sprint of Nature. Here also, you can just submit your abstract. You can even submit the keywords if you want it. Just click on Find Journals to get a list of journals based on this. Here impact factor is given, 5-year impact factor is given, number of downloads is given, and time to first decision. Time to first decision here is median written, therefore it can be from editor or after, it's not after one review. Then you can go to Wiley Journal Finder. There also we can find a journal by entering subject area, topic, or you can just search in here. The same is the case of Taylor and Francis. Here also you can see journal suggested here. You can paste your keywords or abstract here and click on reveal suggested journal. It will give you a list of journals from which you can choose. Here is a list of journals. Here you can choose open access. So it will be probably both open access and subscription. And make sure you read or go through the article processing charge before trying to find or trying to search or trying to submit. If I just write climate and try search and find journals, let's see what I get. I can just type in some name and also find climate services, urban climate, climate smart agriculture. If I go and submit my health related paper in climate smart agriculture, it is not going to get accepted because it's completely based on something that is smart agriculture. Now, the next part. So once you have found a journal, for example, weather and climate experience, let me see. So this is open access. And I want to see what are the indexes, or I want to find a Scopus indexed journal. So from there, what I will do is I will go to scopus.com. From there, I can write the name of the journal. I've just chosen Journal of Climate, which is having, you can see that it is inside the Scopus page, so it will be Scopus index. If you can click on the journal name, then it will give you an idea to what time. You can see years covered by Scopus from 88 to 89. Then they have a break from 90 and again started from 90 to 2024. If you are going for a research or a PhD, make sure you search in scopus.com and make sure it is available in scopus.com. Otherwise, you will publish it in there. It will be some predatory journals and you will be like lost of that journal that you have. So this is for Scopus, and if you want to search if the journal is SCI, then you will need to go to Clarivate and search for the same. So I'll show the search in Clarivate also. Then go to Clarivate, which show it's an indexing for Web of Science journals, and I can search for Journal of Climate. So you can see that Journal of Climate is indexed in Web of Science also. And here what you need to take care of is Web of Science collection. This is SCI expanded. SCI expanded. SCI expanded means it will be expanded to the next years also. It is more reliable than just being its SCI. So if it is SCI expanded, then you are good to go. So you can search in these two websites for this, and you should take care of the ISSN number and check whether the ISSN number is same. Here you can see ISSN number is 0894-8755. So it is 0894-8755. So this journal is indexed both in Scopus and Web of Science. So you can confirm it in this way so that you will not get to be admitted in predatory journal. So you are going to search the website or the journal page of this journal. I'm just going to go for the journal page. And once you're in the journal page, also try to search the ISSN number and find if this is the same. So here you can see so many things are given inside the journal and how to write, what to write, what. Here you can see ISSN number 0894-8755. So we are in the right page. We should come to the journal page for submission, right? So when you are in the journal page also, what you need to do is you need to go to scopus.com, find what is the ISSN number. If it is Web of Science index, then go to Web of Science and Clarivate and find if what is the ISSN number. And once you come to the journal page, you should confirm that this is the ISSN number and EISSN number. You should confirm the EISSN number also, not just the ISSN number. Now coming back to the presentation, some journal metrics that we need to take care of is journal impact factor, site score, and Simango journal rank. So what is journal impact factor? It is the most well-known metric. Whenever you say to someone that you have a journal, they will say that, what impact factor journal have you submitted your paper? So it is calculated by dividing the number of citations in a given year to the article published. So in the journal, there will be lots of articles published. It is a ratio of the article published to the citations the whole journal has received in that year. So normally they will look for not just for 1 year, they will look for even 5 years impact factor also. So that will be the number of citations and number of number of articles published in 5 years. Next is the site score. Site score is a metric based on Scopus data, which calculates the average number of citations. So everything is based on the importance is based on the citations. It is important that not just submitting article or getting published. It is important to have good citations also. And SJR is account of prestige of the citing journals, giving more weightage to citation from highly regarded sources. So if the citations are from very high-end sources in your journal, if you are getting citation from very high-end sources, then that is a huge credit for. That is what is meant by STI. Next part is formatting the journal. Once you have found the journal, it is ready to be formatted and you are going to format it. Now, if the format is not correct, then the journal is going to get rejected even from the editor side. It is not going to go for the review. So the second part of formatting comes when it is like the journal will clearly explain how you should be writing your paper in their page like this. Here you can see in this journal, they are giving so you will need to log in for submitting editors and reports. This is the first time I'm in this page, so getting a little confused. So just give me a minute. Okay, so this is a journal Advance in Climate Change Research. Okay, so in this journal page, so this is one of the journal which I have taken before. I have something that says submit your article. This is where you are going to make your actual submission. You will be taken to editorial manager where you will be logging in and submitting. Then you have guide for authors. So in this guide for authors, everything that you need to do for formatting the paper is already given. The only thing is that you should take the patience to read it and try to structure your article. So here, article structure is given. It should have introduction. It should have materials and methods. It should have theory and calculation, results, discussions, conclusion, and appendices. So when you're given with this many information, the journal expects us to fill up or have these titles and have something filled underneath it. So you have prepared a paper. It doesn't mean that with the title you have kept, you can submit it to the journal. It is very important that you go to the journal page, find what are the titles they want, and try to put it if possible. And it will be highly recommended that you should try to put it. And the sections, it is also mentioned how you should number your sections. Abstract is not included in the section numbering. So some journal does say that you have to put line numbers. So there is an option in Word or LaTeX for putting line numbers. You can do that. So these are the sections the journal is requiring. And title, essential title information, everything like title, what are the author names and affiliation. When you're writing the author name and affiliation, try not to put a salutation before, like Dr., Mrs., Miss, Mr. Try not to put that. The journal does not encourage a salutation before. And affiliation. In some journal, it is not recommended to put your designation. Make sure the journal accepts designation before putting your designation. It just needs what is your college name, what is your university name, what is your place, country, and then you will need to put a star for corresponding author. Corresponding author is a person to whom the journal is going to talk about regarding what is going to happen next after your submission. So the corresponding author here said, you can see that they clearly indicate who will handle the correspondence at all stages of reference and publication. The corresponding author will be responsible for any queries that is arised by the journal people. Now, inside the abstract also, you can see that. Need to go through each and every section, read each and every section, make a note of each and every section before formatting the journal. Math formula is next important thing. Some of the journal will not need it as images. Some of the journal will need it as images. Here it is said math equation should be editable. So in Word, you can just go and type in your math, or you should do it in math.io. In some journal, it says Word format is not acceptable. In that case, you will have to go to math.io to put it. And footnotes. Try to add some footnotes, which will help the reviewers to understand what is your designation and things probably comes in the foot. And artworks, make sure artworks and graphs and charts are clearly visible. It should be distinguishable. Whatever artworks you make should be very much distinguishable. And finally, some of the journal does ask you to submit your images as a separate file as EPS, PDF, vector drawings. So vector drawings are other important thing. Vector drawing means how much ever you zoom, the clarity of the image will not move. So that is another part where you can go for vector drawings. Try to use vector drawings and graphical drawings. The graphs which you put inside the journal, it is not recommended to be drawn in Word, PowerPoint, or Excel. Try to do some vector drawings. Try to make your images and drawings as good and clear as possible. Then only the journal will try to accept it. They will feel it attractive. So you are going to write something, someone is going to see and going to evaluate that. They should feel that it looks good, it is having good content. Even having good content comes secondary at that time. So for the first impression, you say the first impression is the best impression. That comes in line for title, abstract, and the overall look of the paper. That is the first thing that the editor is going to look. Editor is going to look, how is the title formulated? Is it formulated well and good? Next, the abstract. Is the abstract formulated well and good? Then the overall look of the paper. Is the paper looking good? Is it having good artworks? It is having good graphics. Nobody wants to read a paper which is completely full of writings. Everyone wants to see something colorful in the paper. So try to make your paper as attractive as possible. And finally, submission. Submitting through the portal. So when you're submitting, they'll be asking some of you should recommend some people as reviewers. Try to include some reviewers. They may not add those people as reviewers, but in future, those people who were added by you as reviewers will get a chance to review some other paper. But it necessarily will not, your paper will not be given to that paper. Most or almost 99% that person is not going to be assigned as a reviewer for your paper. Every journal is going to have some selected number of people here and there. If your paper is too new, then the number of reviewers are going to be too less, and the chances of the person who you are allotting to be assigned as reviewer is high. That is the basic logic there. They are asking you for a suggested reviewer because if the journal cannot find a person who's apt for your paper, the final resource will be the person who you are providing. So that is why when you are choosing a topic, try to choose a topic which nobody else can review. If that is the case, then probably your professor will be assigned as your reviewer and you will get your paper published very fast. So try to, so that is one of the things. Graphical abstract. Some of the journals does ask graphical abstract. Now, what is graphical abstract? It is important to have a graphical abstract in hand with you. Graphical abstract is the graphical representation of your paper. It should include all the relevant part of your paper, but it should not be your block diagram. It should not be your block diagram. Try to include something which is attractive and very beautiful. That should be your graphical abstract. And cover letter. The editor will expect a cover letter from you. There are so many formats of cover letters available. The editor will expect a cover letter from you. It is not a necessary part in any of the submission to submit a cover letter, but the editor is a person who is going to expect a cover letter from you. And inside the cover letter, you are going to mention that this is my study. This is what I have presented. And it will give a small idea to the editor what he is going to see when he is opening the PDF format of your file. So that is the cover. And understanding the review process. The review process, how it is done, is clearly mentioned in every journal page. Try to read how the review process is being done. It can be even read after submitting. It is not relevant to read before submitting. But it would be good if you can go through how your paper is going to be reviewed by the reviewers. It can be reviewed, most probably it is reviewed by two people, and it will be a blind review. Both of them will not have a connection between, they will not know each other. So that is the review process. Concluding, we have here in this presentation, we have gone through the parts of the research paper. Then we have understood what should be included in each part of the research paper and how to find an adequate journal. After writing the whole paper, you should be able to find a journal for which you can submit. Then after finding the journal, you will format it according to the journal's requirement. Then you will submit it, and then you will find how the review is done. So that is all with my presentation. I hope I did not bore you too much with all of the things. And thank you for again giving me this opportunity. If you have any questions, please answer.
Good
Participants
afternoon, ma'am.
Yes?
Kimaya here, ma'am. I'm from Pune only. And
Okay.
I had one question.
Hello? Hello? I'm sorry, I'm not able to hear what you are saying. Hello? Is it
Still
me?
you are audible.
Ah, okay. I thought I was not audible. I'm not able to hear the question. Yes. Vector diagram. Whatever diagram you draw in PowerPoint, Word, or Excel, you can convert it to a vector diagram using Inkscapes. Inkscapes. Just try it. It is free. Sure. It will convert all of your images into vector images, and you will be able to download it in whatever format the journal has suggested. Like you can download it in PDF, you can download it in JPEG, PNG, TIFF, GIF, whatever. Any other questions? Small SEO tools is the best open access which from which I have found, but it is not 100% reliable though. I don't think there is space in between. So it's small SEO tools. You're welcome.
Can you suggest some free journals in management field?
What will be our topic? So like in
Related,
management field, means it is a very big field. Like you can
yes,
write some words or abstract and just search it how I showed you before. Go to the
actually I
journal
searched,
finder.
ma'am, but I
Okay,
am getting all the paid journals and I am not, means I can't afford to pay such large, huge APC.
you understand the.
My topic under management is regarding adoption of solar products.
Okay, just give me. Solar product.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, any other questions? I'm searching. No. So when you search, ma'am, when you search, try not to add adoption of solar product. Instead, just try to add solar product or disciplines related to solar products. Then you will get journals based on subscription.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you,
So
ma'am.
try to avoid any one word. Then you will get list of journals because I found list of journals. Yes, you will get.
Okay, ma'am.
Thank
Okay,
you.
ma'am. Thank you.
Anything else? Anybody who would like to ask something? Okay, I got not. Thank you.
Yeah, now we'll wind up the session.
Someone raised a hand. Yes.
Thank you for the excellent session, ma'am. I'd like to thank all the participants. And all the participants are asked to fill the feedback form in chat room. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Goodbye.
Bye.